Help! Oh, my husband! Please, doctor! My husband is dying! My husband is dying! Please! Around 1 a.m. that night, he started feeling unease in his stomach. He tried to endure it till morning, but it got worse. The doctors were unable to stabilize him. Within an hour, Mr. John was pronounced dead. One evening, after they had met, Desmond suggested a dark idea to Anita. See, babe, you are unhappy. I can see it. John is never going to change you. I know him back from the days. Whenever he's no more interested, he cannot come back. And you deserve a life of peace and comfort. I mean, you deserve better. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror lately? Have you ever thought about ending it? I mean, you are too young and beautiful to remain in an unhappy marriage. Ending it? She asked, her eyes wide with both curiosity and horror. Think about it now. Yes, think about it. You're no longer a kid. I mean, if John were gone, you will inherit everything and you'll be free. Anita, see it now, free to live the life you want. Or don't you want to be free? That night, as Anita laid in bed with her husband, all she could think of was what Desmond said earlier that day. She had a sleepless night, going back and forth, trying to find reasons to accept his ideas or not. She tried to fight it off, but his voice kept echoing in her ears. She looked at her husband, who was already fast asleep, with pity and resentment. Anita recoiled at the thought, but over time, her anger and resentment surpassed her morals. To Fiakwa, God, can't stay in this marriage anymore. I am done. I can't. But then, I can't live empty. I have to go with something. This plan must work. Please, I'm going to keep this good girl behavior by the side and take the bull by the horn this one time in my life. Desmond continued to plant the idea, feeding her with twisted logic and enticing promises. Eventually, she agreed. But Desmond, though, how is this plan going to be? See, in all, it has to be clean, oh. I mean, that's when I can say I got the freedom. Trust me, you don't have to worry about that. I can't have an idea without a plan to back it up. I will give you something that you will have to add to his meal every day in a very small quantity. See, emphasis on very small quantity so that it will never be detected. He won't even notice and he will die slowly, and no one can trace it back to anyone or anything. And then everything will be yours. Desmond gave Anita the poison and she set out with the plan. For weeks, Anita followed Desmond's instructions. She poisoned John's food. At first, she didn't see any sign. She said to herself, now wow, this is taking longer than required. I mean, when will this end? Am I even supposed to keep adding this thing till when? Please though, something has to be done. So she decided to increase the quantity gradually till she started seeing the effects. She watched with a cold detachment as John's health began to decline. At first, he only seemed tired, often complaining of tiredness, but gradually, his symptoms worsened. He developed persistent urge to vomit, unexplained pain, and a worrying fever. What's happening to me, babe? I really can't tell how I feel lately. The other day in the office, I shut down, only for me to wake up a few hours later. I don't know what is going on. She looked at him, faking concern. Really? Well, I've not noticed though. Could it be stress from work? Maybe you should just see a doctor. I don't know. John nodded, but weeks passed before he finally went for medical checkup. The doctors found nothing conclusive, only prescribing medication for his symptoms. Anita, growing impatient, increased the dosage the more. The effects became undeniable. She was happy until that night that he was rushed to the hospital after taking the pepper soup and white rice. In the hospital that night, Anita was uncontrollably crying, swimming in the pool of her own tears as everyone surrounded her, sympathizing with her. He is all I have. How did you allow him to die just like that, doctor? How? She cried. John? How will John die just like that? No. John's family was devastated by his death, especially his mother, who had been taken to stay with her daughter just weeks before his passing, since her stay with him was causing trouble. I spoke with my brother earlier today. He was very healthy. Please, where is the doctor? I need an autopsy. My brother can't just die like that. There must be a reason. John's sister said as she arrived at the hospital in anger. Anita looked up with so much surprise and concern at Desmond. Desmond, who was by the side of the wall, looking so concerned, or rather faking it. Desmond, on his part, was worried that the poison worked faster than expected, but he had not had the chance to ask Anita how it happened. Anita never expected the family to ask for an autopsy. John's relatives insisted on a thorough investigation, unable to understand how a previously healthy and bouncy businessman could die so suddenly. The autopsy revealed traces of a rare poison, raising questions and prompting further investigation. Soon, the police began questioning those closest to him, and Anita's strange behavior did not go unnoticed. They uncovered the tension between her and John, her affair with Desmond, and the toxic dynamics that had plagued their marriage. Under pressure, Anita's mask began to slip off. She was faced with evidence she could not deny. She broke down and confessed everything, implicating Desmond as her co-conspirator. The family was shocked. Desmond, after all John has done for you? Why? Why will you connive with his wife to kill him? Why take his life? You could have talked to him as your fellow man. I thought you guys were friends. No, Desmond, you didn't do this right. You could have talked to him and told him your worries. Why will you do this? It's so unfair. My only brother. John's sister shouted angrily. The family took the case to court. Anita and Desmond, once partners in crime, turned on each other in court, each attempting to place the blame solely on the other. Their twisted alliance dissolved under the weight of their crimes. In the end, both were sentenced to life imprisonment, leaving John's family to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. In this life, we really do not know what people want from us. Thank you for staying with me to this moment. I appreciate. Thanks for watching. Please I will ask if you have not subscribed. Do well to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share to your loved ones, and I will see you in my next. Thank you.